What's up guys, Julian Claudi here. Welcome to my first ever Zwift video on YouTube, which is also my first ever video in English. Quick introduction about me. Usually I'm racing mountain bikes or enduro and I do these videos in German, but today is going to be a bit of an experiment and just something different. Like I said, my first ever Zwift race, I decided to race the Crit City race in the category B. I'm commenting on the footage just after the race happened, so basically one day after it to be exact. And right now I'm setting everything up, as you can see in the camera. And talking about settings, I'll get the right focus on the camera in just a few seconds. But besides that, I want to show you what trainer I use, or I used for this race also. It's the Wahoo Kicker Core. I got it just a few weeks ago and I'm very happy with it basically. And I think it works perfect in combination with Zwift, and I also think that the data is pretty accurate. Jumping into the companion app here, the race I signed up for, Crit City race, like I said, category B, 3.2 to 3.9 watts per kilogram, and 39 people have joined the race so far. I think it's going to be a bit more later on, but it's just a race, 15.7 kilometers overall. Here are the virtual components I chose for this race. DT Swiss Arc 1100 wheels, pretty much the only wheels I own. And for bike frame I went with the Focus Isalco Max, pretty much also the only other frame I bought with the drop system. Some stats about myself: I'm 184 centimeters tall, I weigh about 75 kilograms and my FTP should be around 302 watts. Getting into the clips, or not really getting into it, using them for the third time, the road bike click pedals, or clipless pedals is how you call it in English I guess. Felt kind of weird, but got used to it. And basically getting ready for the race, 3 minutes to go. I'll skip over some parts. Just a quick note here, I'm riding at like 130 watts or so and already 140 BPM, which is pretty high. Something that I just realized when I did this race, and I think it might be either because I'm nervous just before the race, or I'm nervous because I'm recording everything. Definitely unusual, but also interesting fact. I'll definitely keep that in mind for some future racing, as this could maybe help me training wise or anything. Race is about to go off, 8 seconds till we start. I tried to get up the watts quite a bit before the start. I've seen that on some other YouTube videos, which of course I watched prior to racing my first race. I did some research on YouTube on what to do and how to use the power-ups and whatnot. I've also had a look at this map, but the YouTube video I watched was the reverse route, which, I mean, didn't really matter, but yeah. Diving into the first lap, didn't really know what to do, so I had no plan either. I just tried to stick with the group, or that's what I wanted to do for pretty much the entire race. I decided that I want to stay with the front. Mainly because I was kind of scared to get dropped too fast, which can happen quite easily, as I've also realized in this race. Sometimes when you take a drink or you just get a sweat off, you're basically almost off, so maybe get the watts up a bit before you do that. Interesting first learning for me there. So yeah, diving into the lap, I think it's about 6 laps. The overall time was about 20 minutes. But of course I don't want to annoy you with the full race. I'll cut a lot of parts and fasten up some parts. I will show the first lap here though, a bit fastened up. And when I think there are some interesting, points of the race, I'll just get back into the video and talk over it and share my thoughts. Receiving the first item of the race, and also the only item of the race, the thing that doubles the slipstream I guess, or just multiplies it, whatever, increases it. Definitely does something with slipstream, and I'll keep that in mind. I decided to keep the item pretty much till the end of the race, mainly because I did not feel the need over the race to use it, but you'll see that. And thought it would be quite clever to use it at the very end when or at least I was guessing that the pack would still be together and I might be able to get a quick rest before the final sprint, and that's also what I did in the end. Quick little spoiler here. I mean, what even is a spoiler? You could just skip to the video, so I'll just tell what position I got into at the very end, and if you don't want to know it, if you just want to watch the video through without knowing, then just listen away now. So I finished the race in 2nd place. Dropping from 9th place, quite far back here on the straight, which is something I realized rather early on in the race and gets confirmed a few laps later also. So I kept this specific part of the track in mind and some other parts. Yeah, that really helped me throughout the race and especially at the end of the race, because I knew that these parts of the track were somehow the parts where I lost ground. So I just went a bit harder. Prior to the parts a few meters before that, I already started to go a bit harder. Approaching the same part of the track, you can see me putting in some power here and basically retaining my position here. So worked out for me. That was confirmation that it was good to be putting in a little bit more power there, and it's just something that I kept on doing throughout the race then. Approaching the bumpy part of the track, which is the section I really liked and I felt like I was quite good at it, and every time it went uphill I put in some more power, as you can see in the watts up the top left, and really worked out well for me and kept that throughout the race. And yeah, I really felt that this was kind of a strong part of the track for me, which was the small part of the track, but it's always good to give you back some confidence while riding. When you know you're good at something and you can just repeat it over and over again, especially on short laps like these, really it's good for your confidence. A few minutes further up into the race, I had a little bit of a moment here, dropped a lot of positions here. You can see me just realizing a little bit late and having to put in a lot of power now to somehow get back with the group. I was scared to get dropped, especially because I could not see anybody behind me and I didn't really know how much the slipstream works and for how long. So got back into the game here and repeated the thing I just talked about again and really worked my way up again. Again, further up into the race, I was still feeling pretty good, although my heart rate was constantly above 170, a lot of the times even above 180, but I knew that I had a lot of power left and I was feeling pretty confident at this point. 2.5 Ks left to the finish, and yeah, just sticking with the group, which was still quite a big group. We've dropped some people, I think, but still about, I guess, 30 people up for it in the mix. Alright, so we enter the last lap, 900 meters to go. Heart rate is up pretty high again, pretty high. We are still at about the pace we raced the entire race. I still have my item. I will drop that pretty soon here. Just did it right there. I'm pretty happy with the placement, I think. Most other people don't activate their stuff. They probably use it already. We go into one of the last turns of the race here. My plan was to push hard at about 300 meters to go. But as we approach this left turn here, you will see me being a bit confident waving at the camera. But now I'm going to do a pretty big mistake, which I'm annoyed about now. I can see the other guys pushing, or I think they push, so I go hard at about like 680 watts, but then it dropped down again because I thought they didn't push. And now I'm a bit back and now I go completely as hard as I can, push everything I've got left to the race, get some achievements here, overtake some guys, fighting my way up the front, but not able to catch the last guy, but still finishing strong in P2, which really is something I'm very happy about, especially in my first ever Zwift race. You can see my ratings here again. I'm 184 centimeters tall and I weigh 75 kilograms. Alright, so that's about it for this video. Thanks for watching. Definitely let me know if I should do this again, or maybe some ideas of things I could change up for this format. Thanks for watching again, and see you guys next time.